In the way it happened, I'm like, there's no way as me being a counselor that the kid is gonna come to school that day and the parents, if they showed up, that they're going home with the parents. That's just a given to try to put something in place and say, hey, to the administration, like, I can't. This kid is not gonna stay with me because we don't have enough manpower to do one-on-ones in
Right,
schools.
right.
So in order to keep someone like that safe, you have to have someone kind of trained in that area. But that means you're taking away from potentially a couple hundred other kids that could be providing service, and you just got to focus on that kid. So I just think there was a lot of stuff that went wrong that that
I
kid should
tell
have
you,
never been stuck in stayed in that building.
if you were to ask any counselor, and I ask you, before this, it's a loaded question now, is the absolute worst nightmare? And that has got to be it. You bring a kid in your office, you talk to him, you do this, you do that, and he convinces you that everything's fine. And then he goes back and he starts shooting up the school. But there were steps that counselor, and I don't want to sit here and throw people under the bus, but I got to tell you, it really makes you wonder. Counselor talks to him, forces the parents to come up, and apparently he sat in the office for like an hour or two, waiting for the parents to get here. And you know how that goes. You've seen that. Kids are sitting there waiting for the parents to come. Kids complaining, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm missing my science work. So they go and get them some science work. And you can see that. I can picture this in my mind. And this goes on all the time. I don't understand why. Number one, the kid was not searched. Um, that much information. And apparently there's an SRO there at the school. Didn't contact the SRO, didn't have the kid searched. And then they didn't even, from what I gathered, they didn't even notify the administration.
Yeah, and that seemed like that. I don't know, like it's procedures that's put in place, and we get these different trainings, but I just think sometimes it's like a gut feeling. I know probably if me and you were working together and I would have had a certain feeling, I would have probably, Mr. Huber, this kid got to go. He got to go.
Yeah, right.
I don't
Yeah,
feel
you told me that
comfortable.
once or twice. This kid got to go. Okay.
Or either
But
got the SRO
Right.
involved, like, listen, they need to get evaluated
Right.
because typically that's what we try to do. Like, okay, we don't want the kid to return back until we get something saying he was seen by
Right.
somewhere, and then we have a intake meeting and go through all that. So,
But like I'm saying, even with all that, how can you not notify the administration? How can you not notify the administration? How can you not notify the SRO? How can you not search a kid? Now, I understand the reason that the counselor doesn't search the kid is because I'm assuming in Michigan it's the same rules that they don't have the authority to do that. I get that. And if they were to say to the counselor, well, why didn't you search him? The counselor probably would say, well, I don't have the authority to do that. Fine. Well, then you need to find somebody that does have the authority to do that, and you need to report. I can't believe they didn't report this to the administrator. That's the part I can't get over.
And that just makes you wonder, like, how close hand in hand did they work together? Because
That's that is exactly right. That is exactly. I'm sorry to cut you off. The reason I'm jumping out of my seat, I did a whole video on that. It all comes down to the relationship between guidance and the administration.
Because if I'm on lockdown with some kid all day, that pretty much, like, I'm not, I wouldn't be able to do anything, like, don't send any kids here because I can't. So therefore, you would think administration needs to know, like, listen, he's tied up, and then they'll get that information, and hopefully they'll say, look, why is this kid here? Did we talk to the parents? Let's get the kid out of here, because there's a whole bunch of other kids that still needs to be serviced.
Yeah, and if they, and like you said, if they didn't report it to the administration, why? Why not? If it was because they didn't feel it was necessary, David, that's nothing short of gross negligence. Then the other thing is maybe they didn't. Maybe there was a clash there. You know, maybe it was like, man, I'm sick and tired of dealing with counselors bringing these kids. You know how it goes. You know, the counselors bringing his kids to me for the, what am I going to do? You know, and then you get that thing back and forth. It's like, well, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I can't, I can't do anything. Well, I can't do anything. He hasn't broken any rules. I can't suspend him. So, talk to him. And, so maybe there was some of that relationship between the two. It's hard to say, but it didn't end well. And I'll tell you, my biggest problem with the whole thing is the fact that the principal or the superintendent told everybody that it was not reported to the administration. To me, that's nothing short of shoving the counselor under the bus. When he says it was never elevated to an administration or to an administrator, maybe that's true, but you just threw that counselor under the bus, man.
Kind of left him on the island by himself.
Yeah, she did.